I'm International Dex here. Smoothie Dex, Cool Dex. Y'all know whatever you want to call me. So once again, y'all know my thing. I appreciate all the international listeners. I appreciate everybody that's over here in the United States of America that's listening in the USA. But yeah, like I said, shout out to everybody that's downloading, subscribing, telling a friend. Like I said, keep downloading. Help me get this out to everybody. This isn't a limited podcast. Also, another thing that I can't lie, I couldn't start the show off without telling y'all this. After the last PSA I put out, I was all about motivation, keep going, don't look backwards, etc., etc. But now I would be a liar if I didn't tell y'all. Today I almost didn't record. I was really in a slump. I was down. Then I thought about it. I'm like, damn. I said all this shit to people. Now how I'm gonna go back on my own word? So that's why I was like, you know what? And I saw something on Twitter that sparked me, and it led me to my Moorish brother here today. And I want him to introduce himself. I don't want to mess up his names. So please introduce yourself, my Moor.
Peace, Morph. About the abolition of algebra, Alright,
there we go. There we go.
Yeah, I'll go by the abolition of algebra, Rock That's about it. It's your brother from another mother.
And this episode right here, this is about to be for me, this is an educational episode. So I hope everybody listens and just pay attention to the episode. He got some books that he brought the reference also. So without further ado, I'm gonna just jump right into it. So the whole concept of astrology, where did that come from? How did that come about? Why is that a big topic right now in 2020? Like, what is that all about, astrology?
All right, well, let's start off with the etymology of the word astrology.
Okay.
Etymology is the study in field of science of linguistics and language, etc. So the words that we speak have a etymon. Etymon meaning a root or an egg or a matrix. Like plants, trees, they have a matrix. Feel me? etc. Humans have a matrix as well. That would be their mother and their father. Linguistics is reflected upon nature itself. So naturally in linguistics, a word is going to have a mother and father, or a primitive or a original meaning as well. So the etymology of astro, meaning stars, light, and ology, meaning to know. So astronomy and astrology is dealing with to know the stars, naturally, meaning to know the stars. So I guess the next question after that would be what's the importance of knowing the stars?
Exactly.
I mean, that would be my question. Like if I was a child, you feel me? You feel me? Like I was telling International Dex, you feel me? I was telling him, you feel me? My whole foundation is who, what, when, where, why, how. You know, that's what I was grafted and born, you feel me, and taught to do, you feel me, ever since a child. Who, what, when, where, why, you know, dealing with these questions. So, you know, there's a phrase that my pops always told me. He said, as above, so below. So, you feel me, if we're dealing with that, then everything that's inside of us is up there in the universe and the stars. And everything that's in the universe and the stars is reflected within nature, the earth in itself. And everything that's reflected in earth and nature itself is reflected in the human body, dealing with anatomy and biology-wise, as well as chemistries-wise too, because we have chemical components within inside of ourselves. Lead, mercury, iron, silver, that are reflected within the planets itself. Mercury, Saturn, feel me, etc., moon, etc. as well. So it's important to know the stars, planets, and constellations, because it's important to know yourself. And if you know yourself, you know your wealth, because yourself is who hold the title belt. So
no, those are straight bars though. Those was, because like I said, I remember when they took us to the planetarium when we was young. Then we look up and see the stars, but we were so young we didn't know what it was at that age. So when we got older, so now what the astrology is, right now what we in is Cancer season, right?
correct.
So
Solar return.
Solar return. All right, so let's start there. Solar return. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
So solar return is the comeback or the continuation of the sun spot in your chart. So I'm sure everybody's heard of a natal chart. Say me, I'm a Scorpio.
Okay.
Scorpio is ruled by the Scorpion zodiac sign, which is located in the southern quadrant of the universe. And in tropical, there's different types of astronomy and different types of zodiac, but just for our sake over here, dealing in North America, dealing with the 12 signs, dealing with either from March to February or from January to December, etc. etc means etc. By the way, Scorpio is from October 23rd to November 21st. My solar return was October 30th. So when each soul is born on the earth, etc., it's a chart of planets that surrounds us. So like right now, the planets are revolving around us. So we would be able to chart what planet is where and where they're at right now. So that's gonna be when we're gone, before we was here, and right now. So that chart of mathematics, that's what people naturally call zodiac chart right now, or a natal chart. But it's just simply dealing with astronomy. So my sun sign is Scorpion, which is ruled by Mars and Pluto. Each zodiac sign is ruled by a planet, and each planet rules a day. And this is all connected with the months. This is all connected dealing with mythology and planets. When you research what the months mean, what does you ever ask yourself, what does January mean? What does February mean?
Yeah,
March,
most people don't ask that
etc.
question. Yeah.
When you find out what it means, you find out that it is dealing with the mythological elements of nature and the planets, etc. So it's important to know what the months mean, and know, like I was telling you, what the 7 days mean, what does Monday mean, what does Tuesday mean, what does Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday mean. This is all dealing with our natal chart. This is all charting our path. This is our charting our way of life, etc. And if we don't know these simple concepts, then we're gonna be, as my uncle and my grandpops and them say, we're gonna be out to lunch, etc. So it's important to know our mathematics. Feel me? Our mathematics is our DNA, and our DNA is our way of life.
So you just said it's simple stuff that we should know, but for some people they don't feel like it's simple. So for you, how would you say to a person like, look, because most people, when we get to this conversation, most people tap out. Cause I'm being real, most people tap out because you talk to them for 2 minutes, they're not trying to hear it no more, because up here they're not. It's just, I'd rather go watch the bullshit that's on TV, because I said, like, propaganda do way. They put stuff in front of us like to distract us from what you're talking about. So to how would you go about to the average person if they came up to you and they was like, hey, look, I wanna learn about astrology? How would you break it down for them to not steer them away?
Well, peace. We all deal with a collective consciousness. So I deal with people like how they deal with me.
See, hear that breakdown?
See, I deal with people.
I deal.
Yeah, I even know that.
Like, come on, man.
I stutter a little bit, so
Damn, that's the
So I deal with people how I deal with myself. So how I would guide my son or my daughter is how it was taught to me. So like El Hajj Malik al-Shabazz, who they call Malcolm X, etc. How it was taught to me, he wound up gaining his knowledge through a French Muslim, and a French Muslim wound up showing him the science and the field of study known as etymology and linguistics. And when El Hajj Malik al-Shabazz, Malcolm X, wound up, when he was incarcerated, when he wound up learning etymology and linguistics, etc., took his Hajj. He took his Hajj over in North Africa, etc. And then when he came back with a new perspective, because his linguistics had changed, his language had changed. So since his language had changed, his spells had changed. Now, and how it was told to me by my elders was when El Hajj Malik al-Shabazz came back to North America, ETC. That's when Martin Luther King Jr. was going through his trials and tribulations, and his speeches talking about, I led my people through a burning building. And there was how it was told to me was they was about to meet, and then they was about to team up.
I heard that.
And then before they teamed up, not meet, but they was about to evolve in their platform of their information of which they're trying to get to the people. And before that happened, they were both eliminated out the equation, which is the art of war. You feel me? Art of war is you eliminate your subjects young before they mature into a threat. That's natural. Anybody who study art of war know that. You feel me? ETC. You know, that's why you're most ruthless. You feel me? You feel me? They'll tell you anybody could get it. Children, women, etc. When you study old history.
But how come they flip and they say no women and children?
Well, that's what I was about to tell you. That's what I was about to tell you. When you study the history of different clans in Japan, especially in Japanese history, they was wiping clans out. They was wiping clans out because they figured we can't leave a nephew behind. We leave a nephew behind, he may be the one. Cousins, they get out of here. Nephews, aunts, uncles. Because if you leave one atom, that one atom can multiply. So you eliminate the atom by eliminating it by its whole. You don't leave half, you don't leave a portion, you don't leave a quarter. You eliminate the whole group. You eliminate the whole group. Naturally, this is dealing with the art of war. You eliminate the whole group, therefore you don't have to deal with them again, and you could go on with the next mission that you gotta deal with, whatever that mission be. ETC. This is psychoanalysis. This is what what we are discussing is what African Americans claim they're the oppressors of who the African Americans claims they're oppressing them. This is what they know, which is called the art of war, ETC, in the field, in the study of psychoanalysis, how the mind works, dealing with psychology, you feel me? Dealing with threats, violence, and the art of peace, ETC. How do you take away the peace from the people? You know, these are all, this is a little bit deep because you're dealing with mental training. And when you're dealing with mental training,
we've been trained our whole lives. Like we were saying with the cartoons earlier, at a young age, the shows, the music, everything. We've been trained. We've been trained to where we're at now. So that's why when you talk to people like this, because I'm being real, most people aren't going to make it to this part of the episode because this isn't for them. Like, because they're trained to watch the bullshit. Like, this isn't this shit that they want to hear. So if you made it this far, stick with us. So now,
thank you.
Now, yeah. Yes. And the sad part is most people don't have that. That's why I say right now during this pandemic, this quarantine, if you haven't learned yourself or evolved throughout this, that shows a lot, and I don't want to be around you. But so back exactly, accountability. So now my thing, what I want to go to next is nationality.
Facts.
What does it mean? What does nationality mean first? Let's start there.
Nationality is dealing with natal, dealing with naval, dealing with the umbilical cord, dealing with the birth canal. This is as in the body? Yes.
Okay.
Dealing with the birth canal, which is dealing with the belly button, which is connected to a mother. So nationality derives from your mother or your father. I say mother, your father, because if you ask me, nationality delves from both. However, not but, or moreover.
I like that. That's my thing. I say however. Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, yeah. See, that's how you know he listened. That's how you know he listened. He listened to what I'm saying. However, because but deletes everything.
I always tell all my, hermanos, hermanas, if correct me, catch me. catch me because I'm up. You feel me? I catch a lot of people.
We're supposed to
catch me too.
Sharpen each other.
Still sharpen still. Mind sharpen mind. Brain sharpen brain. My father's been telling me this since I was a joven lad, a young lad.
Lingo.
That's my pops, man. He's a 5%er. You feel me? ETC. That's why.
Look, man. It's we can go so many ways. But hold on. All right. So look, nationality. So like you were saying,
natal, nativity,
as in the body. Yes.
You feel me? Umbilical cord, birth canal, mother or father. So if you ask the Bible, they'll tell you that nationality derives from the father. If you ask like a certain indigenous tribes from the Americas, etc., Africa, Asia, they'll tell you that nationality derives from your mother. So me being the universal young lord that I am, I'll sit in the meridian. I'll sit in the middle. So I'll say that nationality is, you feel me? Because we take DNA comprised of both our mother and our father. So I'll leave it at that. So nationality is the DNA comprised of both your mother and your father, dealing from a time of memorial, etc. So why is nationality important?
Yeah, look, you already know my next question.
You feel me? Well, because like I said, this is the questions that I would ask if I was I'm forever gonna be a young lad. A lad just means child. You feel me? That's lingo that my pops will always say when I was younger. I think the etymology of that go back to Ireland. You feel me? ETC. You feel me? But I also go back to little. You feel me? Or lil, which is ancient Sumerian for wind or breath. You feel me? Lil. You feel me? Lil. You feel me? Wind or breath, ancient Sumerian.
The lils. So like you said. Like you already said the next question.
Matter of fact, I just coupled it. So like I said, lil lad mean breath. So the importance of knowing your root, your foundation, you feel me? Because spirit, when you look up in a dictionary, what does spirit mean? It means breath. Literally, look up the word spirit in your dictionary. Hopefully it's unabridged. Abridged means non-edited and non-shortened. So if you're gonna get a dictionary, make sure it's unabridged, non-edited, non-shortened. You want original as best as could be. The older the better, in the heavier the better, in the thicker the dictionary, the better.
Not the little 100-page dictionary.
But your breath is your way of life. That's how you carry yourself. ETC. When you meditating, you dealing with the breath. ETC. To live, you gotta breathe. ETC. So you feel me? It's all connected. Your breath is how you live. How you live is your culture. Your culture is your DNA. Your DNA is your nationality. How I put things together, I connect everything. I have to connect it because that's the most easiest way for me to learn is if I connect it together. That's how my brain computes. You feel me? Computes. ETC. If I connect everything together, like I always say, universal law, you feel me? Dealing with positive law, you feel me? Dealing with international law, you feel me? Dealing with constitutional law, you feel me? Dealing with law of the land, you feel me? It's all connected, you feel me? Dealing with admiralty law, maritime law, you feel me? Dealing with the law of the waters, you feel me? Or color law, which is dealing with negative law. These are contrasts.
Right. So I got to pick one out of all the laws he said. I'm picking one out of this wheel. Color law. Because I feel like the times we're in right now, I feel like that's appropriate to talk about color law. Because I listened to, it was one podcast where the FBI was talking about how they prosecute people under the color of law, etc. But color law, can we talk about the color of law, where it came from, what it's about? Just
Of course. I have let's deal with first-hand references. So I have we
got references.
I have a
you hear?
Is this
What we got?
I'm showing them the dictionary.
This law dictionary belongs to Aljamir Rakib Bey, Moorish American in full life.
Yeah, so that's just what I wrote. This when I first got this dictionary, I just wrote that in just for. But this is a dictionary by Henry Campbell.
And this is the big dictionary we was talking about.
Yes. So when you're dealing with attorneys, lawyers, law professors, anybody who's engaging in any type of practice of law, they're dealing with two forms of references. They're dealing with the Jean Bouviers, who is who I should have bought my John Bouvier's. I have first edition in that too. They're dealing with John Bouvier's, who Congress. So when you look in your John Bouvier's, Congress put the stamp on that. But for all universal law professors speaking the Anglo-Saxon English language, they're dealing with Black's Law Dictionary, etc.
Trying to manipulate it. Yeah.
Facts. So
all right, KC behind the camera, he knows
that's how it's supposed to be. You feel me? Man of many talents. So this is the first edition, 1891. Okay. So we're gonna turn to color of law, because when I speak, I don't deal with theories. I like to deal with facts. Okay. You feel me? Straight reference, etc.
Quick thing, difference between facts and theories. Well, what is a theory?
Fact.
We know facts.
When you look up fact though, meaning truth, what's defined in theory, meaning a thought, etc. So you feel me? We could think a thought, but it don't mean it's fact. You feel me? Like I could think of being with Meg Thee Stallion, but that don't mean it's gonna happen. It's a theory.
It sound good.
You feel me? It's a theory, but it's not a fact. You feel me?
Not a fact. Okay.
We gotta deal with the basics, the principles. You gotta break everything down. You feel me? How I break things down with myself, I break it down like how I'll be dealing with my son or my daughter. I don't even have children, but this is the type of level. This type of level I'm on. Feel me? So I'm turning the color of law right now.
Yeah, that's what me and Zay said before. It was like, yo, don't argue with me about facts. like this is
telling somebody on
this
YouTube.
Is a fact. Like, why are you arguing with me? Like, this is an actual known fact. Why are you arguing with me? That's why I say I don't engage in a lot of these conversations with people, is because most of the time, both of us are right. So now we're just causing tension and causing problems about who's more right. Like we both are right. We both know this shit. We're just saying it a different way, but we're right. Mm-hmm. So so you found it. Mm-hmm. All right.
So like I said, I'm on Black's Law Dictionary, first edition, 1891, on page 222.
If you got one.
If you have one, hopefully. I got this on Amazon. It cost me 180 notes, 180 Federal Reserve notes. So we're looking up the word color. Yep. Okay. So before I read this, here's when you're reading the dictionary, this is something that mother and fathers should teach their children. When you're reading the dictionary, here's a rule of a word. Here's a rule of diction or jurisdiction, etc. Always read the words that come before it and come after it, etc. Just to get the best unilateral, you feel me, composition of what the word means naturally. So the word that comes before color and color of office and color of title and colorable is colony.
Okay.
Colonists.
We heard of those.
Colonial office. Colonial laws. Keep that in mind. So let's read the word color. What does color mean? So this is for everybody who's involved in the NAACP. This gonna shatter some hearts. It's gonna break some minds.
We here with it. We here. Let's do it.
Hey, yo, Kino, you mind sparking up? Sparking up for me?
See, get you something real quick. Yeah, you good?
Kino, that's my brother, man. Hey. Kino, that's my hermano right there. That's my hermano, feel me? In Latin, we call that fretar.
Oh, shit.
Fretar means brother. This is where you get fraternity from. Fretar. In Latin, my sisters, hermana. In Latin, we call them sorry. This is where you get sorority from. You feel me? I encourage everybody to, you feel me, study your languages as well too, because medicine is based off Latin. Plant botany based off Latin. Your law books
I know that.
is based off Latin. etc. So this is some wise words. What's up?
Yeah. You good?
Facts. So let's look in the word color means. So everybody who's referring to themselves as a person of color, dealing with the NAACP, National Advancement of Color, whatever.
People, something like that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So let's look up lawfully and legally what the word color means. This is coming out of your Black's Law Dictionary, 1891.
This is all fact.
All facts. All right, so color, an appearance, semblance, or simulacrum as distinguished from that which is real. All right, so color is something that's distinguished from that which is real. A prima facie is Latin for what we call prime face or first face. Prime meaning first and facie meaning face, or first face, an apparent right. Hence, a deceptive appearance. So color is dealing with something that's distinguished from that which is real, hence a deceptive appearance. A plausible assumed exterior. So it's plausible, assumed exterior. Concealing, so it's concealing a lack of real. It's concealing a lack of reality.
Oh my God.
So not only is it concealing a lack of real, it's concealing a lack of reality. A disguise, a pretext. That's some of what color means. You wanna build on that?
Bro,
a disguise, a pretext, a deceptive appearance. Huh? Too much. Well, like I was telling y'all before, dealing with spectral photometrics, we're made of light, not color. These are some of this is why we got to get back to linguistics.
Exactly.
And speak the proper spells.
Mm-hmm.
We got to speak the proper spells, you feel me, that we're supposed to.
That's why what you just said kind of build on is the lack of being real.
A lack of reality.
Like you're not.
Not only did it say lack of real, it said a lack of reality.
You
lack nigga. You calling yourself a color? You lack reality. You're caught in a dimension that don't even exist.
Bro,
this is psychoanalysis we dealing with.
But you know the messed up thing that I always say to people, I say it's so messed up because if you say that, like I said, a lot of people are going to be heartbroken by this when they're hearing this, but it's the truth. But our parents and our grandparents have been conditioned. They say that to feel this way. So if they hear this, they're gonna be like, what? Like, you sound ignorant, but it's because they were taught that. It's not saying that they're, dumb or whatever. It's just that's what they were taught because that's all they knew growing up. Man. Exact. Yeah. It's gone. We're not thinking about it no more. That's my point. So that's what I'm saying with that. That's why I wanted to get into the color of law, because right now we're so wrapped into this quote unquote, it's a race war about to happen.
There's only one race, the human race.
Let's go.
Broken down into nations.
That, you see what I'm saying? So when it comes down to everybody saying, oh, you got white people saying, oh, you niggers need to go back home, and then we're saying back to them,
from Europe,
like, you don't belong here, and then all they call you is an ignorant dumb nigga. And it's just like, that's the point. Nobody wants to have this logical conversation because like he said, it's simple. People just choose not to accept and learn what's coming from it. So that's why when I say the color of law is so important right now, because I say to people, you need to know, like you said, where you're from. You need to know your nationality. You need to know the law. Knowing the law, because that's why you people get handled the way that you get handled. When you call the cops, what's the first thing that they say?
Black male, white male.
Are they black or white? Oh, it's a black male.
Color of law.
The black male is hurt. We'll get there when we can. Black male is shooting. We right there. If it's a white person, they're handling it totally different.
Free white person. Social status.
Like I literally had somebody say to me before, they was like, yo, if I was to get arrested in a certain town versus you getting arrested in a certain town, it's going to be handled completely different. I'm not going to have handcuffs on me. You going to get slammed to the ground.
Windows busted in.
So that's why I say knowing the law, as in knowing your nationality, because when you're driving, you're traveling. When you have your papers, you present it to the cop. The dumb motherfucker's not going to know, so you have to call a supervisor. He's going to say, go about your day. That's how you handle these situations. So to go back to the color of law, so the color law. What's the next one under the top one, color law?
So next. Great. So right after color, you're dealing with color of office and color of title. So going back before, like we said, color is dealing with a deceptive appearance, an assumed exterior, concealing a lack of reality, a disguise, or a pretext.
What do you do when you assume? Make an ass out of you and me?
There you go.
No assumptions.
No assumptions. You want all fact. You want to know all wise. All wise and exact. Just like my father used to always tell me. You want to be all wise and exact. So dealing with color of office right after color. You feel me? Calling yourself a color, what it means to be a color. You feel me? What's the cause and effect of being a color? Well, right after you're determined and assumed to be a color, then dealing with color of office. Color of office is an act unjustly done by the continuance or the continuance of an office being grounded upon corruption, to which the office is a shadow and a color. So once again, color of office, an act unjustly done by the continuance of an office being grounded upon corruption, to which the office is a shadow and a color. Tell me, who did that sound like? Grounded upon corruption.
A shadow.
A shadow and a color.
On our hip.
Yo.
Who that sound like? Your what departments?
Crazy.
Well, hold on. Side note, we got KC on the mic.
What's up?
He's been behind
KC.
the camera on a lot of the episodes too. Shout out your tech business too, real quick.
KC Threads and Tech, just get at me. Anything and everything, I got you.
He was the one I shouted out before. You need your phones fixed. You need tablets fixed, computers, all that. Affordable prices. Oh, and he edit videos too. You feel me?
Yep. That's my new shit.
Look,
Trifecta.
like no, you say affordable prices, so when you get them in there, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, boom, and then look, pay my price. It is what it is.
Then they want to pay everything because they see the work.
You see what I'm saying?
As they should.
Magnificent.
Like, let's go.
As they should.
But yeah, back to the color office.
Muy importante to know your worth.
Know your worth. Know yourself. KC, so color, because you was behind the camera when a lot of this was going on, but you was kind of chiming in, but yeah, just how do you feel about this whole?
It just goes back to like what I was saying before, like just the ignorance and the willing to learn. Like if a person sat down and read that definition and then realized that color is a disguise. It's a disguise that we can't change. It's just a disguise we were given, we were born with, that was attached to possibly your nationality sometimes. They will understand that there's nothing to it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to that color. And that's where everyone needs to get past. Because like you said, I thought the biggest thing, the best one on there was that it's a disguise for like what is, or I forgot the specific wording of it, but for color it was like
assumed exterior, concealing a lack of real and a lack of reality, a disguise or pretext.
A pretext, meaning that this isn't the text. This isn't the body of work. You know what I'm saying? This is what you see before you get that. This is assumption. You need to get to the body of work so then you can understand what that thing, person, whatever it is. The color is just the exterior, because a color could be good or bad. That has nothing to do with anything.
Nothing to do with a nationality. Nothing to do with.
Let's take it to science. You go into the wild. You know what I mean? You go into rainforest. They tell you to stay away from color. It's poisonous. You go to the grocery mart. You want to get fresh tomatoes. You're gonna get the reddest tomatoes, the brightest tomatoes. Mm-hmm. If I put those two theories together, those cancel out. The reddest tomato and the brightest things in the forest. Am I dead? Am I alive? Am I good? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's you want to realize that the people that wrote that definition or broke that down, there's people that then took that definition and manipulated it.
Well, yeah, that's called your Reconstruction era. That happened in the late 1800s, dealing with denotation and connotation, dealing with the study of language, the study of the Anglo-Saxon language, which is the language that we're speaking right now, going back to Old English, etc. There's different versions of it. We speak a modern, well, the average, not me, the average being in North America, they speak a modern English that's very bastard, very Melangian, which means mixed. That's very mixed and very tainted and soiled, etc. Not in a good way, soiled as well too. Soiled meaning tainted. You feel me, and tampered upon and not dealing with its origin and etymology. Really, we all should be speaking on some Shakespeare. I'm keeping 13.
Love.
Tis thee, nigga. Tis thee. Tis thee. Farewell, my shot.
Word up.
Nah, but
one fair night.
Right after color,
Okay.
you had color of office, and then right after color of office, you have now color of title. So understand, and overstand these levels of language that we're dealing with in terms of status and how we interact with people.
Before we move on, understand, overstand. Tell us the difference between
That's
those
the prefix. He's just trying to break down the.
Nah, I know, but for some people out there, because some people never really. Everybody says understand when they should be saying overstand. So I'm just saying real quick before we move on. Yeah,
it's quick. It's quick.
Yeah.
3 levels of consumption. That's my 3 levels of digestion. It's my 3 levels of consumption. Understand, and overstand. It's my 3 levels. Like how Noble Drew Lee put it. The rules of salvation. You had belief, faith, and fruition. Those were the keys to salvation. And if you break those down, those are the first 3 chakras. So we dealing with mathematics here. We dealing with vibrations, light, you feel me? Spectrophotometric, you feel me?
Back to the science, always.
You feel me? Yo, that's why I told you, I know you thought it was a joke. I be on the science too. That's the way of life, you feel me? Science, going back to Latin, means to know. You feel me? We gotta know. Mm-hmm. You feel me? You know.
That's the thing. You gotta know. Why do you think these older scientists that were Isaac Newton, father of modern science,
Copernicus,
bro? It was most of them. They could play different instruments. You know what I mean? They were their abilities. They had abilities beyond science because
philanthropists, athletes.
What they're not here to tell you is that it helped them understand. It was more knowledge. It was more understanding. It was more overstanding. It was more understanding. So that then they can take that knowledge and apply it elsewhere because it's all connected.
Exactly. And everything's spiritual. The average soul just doesn't look at life like that, but everything is spiritual. The way I'm speaking to this mic is spiritual. The way Dex Money International is sitting, you feel me? Posture, spiritual, you feel me? The way, you feel me? Young Lord Keith glaring at me. That's everything is yo, the way the wind just moved. You feel me? You feel me? Do the push of the fan. You feel me? Look, oscillation.
That's why it was the one. So I'm gonna throw my science thing out there. You feel me?
Go ahead.
They was like, yo, if you understand waves, you understand life.
Yes, there you go.
Everything is a wave. You look at something in this basement, everything is a wave. The way that cord is hanging, the way this is hanging, the way your flag is tied.
Not to go too far into it. There's a frequency. There's a frequency for every physical object in this world. And what I mean by that is so that people can be all that is that if this frequency is played, that object will blow up.
Yeah.
And that's a fact.
Because
why is that? It's physical. You know what I'm saying?
We're dealing with the elemental nature of the universe, dealing with the carbon footprint. ECC, that's electrified by the protons, neutrons, and electrons. Like I always say, to me, just like the brain, just like the elemental components of the brain, the universe is just made of water and electricity.
I'm about to say more.
Water and electricity.
More electricity, bro.
Water and electricity.
What we doing science class?
And electricity, you get through electricity, you get fire. So you have the duality of water and fire, or Venus and Mars, or Libra and Aries, or M and R. You feel me? Now we're dealing with glyphs. Now we're dealing with glyphs. You feel me? The old ancient word for pyramid in ancient Ptah-Meda, who people call Egypt, the original and ancient name for Egypt is actually called Ptah-Meda. Ptah-Meda. P-T-A-H, Ptah, and Meda, M-E-R-A. It's called Ptah-Meda. That's the ancient word for Egypt. Now, the ancient word for pyramid in that language is Mer, M-R. They'll also have it as M-E-R, but M-R. You feel me? Now, let's break down what M-R mean. In numerology, M-R, M is the 13th letter, 1, 3, 4, and 9 is dealing with 9. You feel me? R is dealing with 9 in numerology. So you got M and R, or 4 and 9. 4 and 9 is 13. You feel me? But 13 also breaking down with the 1, 3. You feel me? But What is the 9 and 4 though? 9 and 4 is the green and red. Why I say green and red? Because when you break down the numerology of green, you get 4. When you break down the numerology of red, you get 9. So all right, so let's break this down even more.
And hold on, before you go, for the people that think, oh, my man's is crazy over here, that's false. Because I know a person in college, he was my roommate. He saw numbers in colors. You're like, what are you talking about?
To see it.
That's how we're supposed to see it. In frequencies.
Computing, zeros and ones.
He sees it in colors. When he sees a 2, he sees blue.
That's how you're supposed to see it.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. I just want people to know that this is a thing.
No, yeah, and before y'all go on, that's kind of why I picked the concept and the setup of the lights in my basement. You feel me? Because I knew the lights were going to bring people in.
Thought.
Each light has a different mood.
There you go. Now you now you're talking
like
science.
I got to flash in today because we're going to be all over the place, and I knew that. But usually I'll have it a certain color. That means we in a calm.
That's right.
You feel me? Like that's what it is. But nah, yeah, keep flowing.
Keep flowing.
Yo, that's the type of this is the type of science that I was dealing with when I first started like really studying like all this shit like seriously in like 2011, 2012.
Well, they scared us away from science. That's why. They scared you away from it. They made you think the unknowing was a bad thing.
That's why when you have children,
it's not.
You want to make sure you do them right. My mother and father did me right.
Don't get me started on the children topic. I
didn't have certain problems that other people had. I wasn't given a name that y'all can share with.
They should be questioning everything.
ETC.
Like when parents have a problem with them, when parents have a problem with kids questioning things, that's something where that's a personal patience problem. But in reality, for that kid, that's amazing. That's exactly what he should be doing. Because things at face value, like we just spoke about, colors is a disguise.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You need to know.
Made out of light. Lux.
And that's what you can't
light
see.
Light from Latin lux.
The unknowing.
Good luck, nigga. Good luck. This is where your luck come from. Luck come from lux. Lux come from light.
Bro, one of the physics that people fail, that people have there's a lower average in, is electricity and magnetism.
Yes.
And why is that?
I'm about to say why.
Why is that? It's because you can't see electricity.
Mm-hmm.
So people have a hard time of understanding what a proton is, what an electron is, and how they interact. They can't see it, so we're just learning something. They think, it just like Kyrie, the Earth is flat, because you can't see it. You think it's not a thing. So they have a hard time conceiving what a proton and what an electron is. So it makes it harder for them. So that's why that topic is, even though it's probably one of the more needed topics for people to understand, because everything is made up of electrons, protons, because everything is made up of atoms. But you're steering away from it because it's the unknowing. You can't see it.
That's natural human reaction. They're gonna shy away from what they
lazy.
fear of.
Let's go back. That's another thing that people don't realize. The natural person is lazy. The humanistic.
See, I'm glad you said that.
Unless they're met with you know what I mean, an outside factor, extinction.
Yes.
You know what I mean, with something where we're gonna die. We need to make fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then that's when they get off.
We didn't care about fire before we needed to feed ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like think about the caveman. He's just chilling with cold food. He don't care. But then something sparked in one of them.
What's the composition of a caveman though? What type of elements and chemical components are they made of? Though?
Same as us.
ETC. It's all about activating.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And that's what separates. Was dormant back then. And that's what separates us from who they call the caveman. Is we were the one with the most limbs: muscle, organ, skin, light, electric, magnetic. Mm-hmm. We was the one who activated the muscle, organ, skin, light, electric, magnetic, and they was kept in the shadows and the color.
Facts.
While we was in a positive.
Because when they first got fired, it was color to them.
Oh,
they hit.
shit.
They like, oh my god!
What
is this orange? Let me touch it. Oh, it's hot.
Matter of fact, I think it's the Robin Hood movie with what's the brother? Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
He pulls out a telescope. This is dealing with so-called medieval times. So this so-called from around 800 AD to around like 1200 AD. Whenever that movie take place, it's the brother Morgan Freeman. I believe the movie called Robin Hood. But
I can't remember.
It probably came out in the 90s.
Nah, it's
He was
cool,
probably
it's cool.
like young.
We'll know what you're talking about.
I gotta revisit a whole bunch of shit from the 90s, yo. Cause all we born in the 90s, nigga. We will remember so much shit from the 90s.
I don't know if this is a hot take. Movies were better in the 90s.
So much.
I don't know if you needed someone to tell you that, but it had a plot.
It's called Robin Hood, Prince of the Thieves.
In
1991.
So the brother Morgan Freeman, the Moor on there, Morgan Freeman, he pulls out a telescope, binocular telescope, in the European asylum. You feel me? Morgan Freeman, he passes the telescope to the European, and the European, he looks at the telescope. He says, "Oh my God, what is this? What type of sorcery is this?" And then Morgan Freeman, the Moor, is just looking at him like, "This telescope, my
talking about, bro?"
ETC. So
you want it? Like here.
So we just gotta get back. We just gotta get back to those sciences.
Get back to knowing, bro. Get back to knowing. Get back into wanting to know. Instead of accepting what someone told you, wanting to know for yourself, man. Go get the history.
That's what it come down to.
Star Labs.
What's the next one?
Feel me? That was it.
That was for that.
As far as color of law.
Yeah.
Well, so when we go about color of law, you create a whole different time force. You create a whole different resonance. You create a whole different vibrant frequency. You create a whole different dimension, which we know as negative law. Once you get into color of law, that's negative law. So that's a dimension that you don't want to get into.
But it's been written into American law.
It had to be written into American law. Well, not American law. It had to be written into codified logistics for the United States.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Feel me? For the United States, because they are descendancy of the 13 colonies,
Gotcha.
and who were practicing that. You feel me?
Who follows that?
Real American law is supreme law of the land, constitutional law,
that we ignore.
Treaty law, universal law, positive law. That's the side of the law that we want to stay on. Mm-hmm. We don't want to get into negative law. That's how we need to look at it.
Americas,
you feel me? It's two major forces at hand. Two major. You got your negative law, which is dealing with feudal law. So negative law is dealing with feudal law, fees, taxes, liens, licenses. Like I said, fees, stipulations, charges, foreign.
Point them out.
These are all terms which delude to negative law, of which we want to stay from. We want to mortgage. These are all terms.
Mortgage.
Debt pledge. Civiliter mortuus.
Debt pledge.
Civiliter mortuus, which is Latin for dead in the eyes of the law. This is all negative law. We want to stay away from civiliter mortuus. We want to get into impropria persona, which is improper person. That's what we want to get into. So we want to stay away from dead in the eyes of the law. We want to get into the constitutional fold of government, which is in full life. So we want to be a so-called human want to be regarded as in full life regarding their supreme law of the land of whichever nation state they may be a member of. They want to be in full life. They don't want to be counted as dead. They want to be counted as in full life as a citizen or a national pertaining to whatever nation that they of. So when you're getting to color, you're getting away from that. Black, Negro, African American, Hispanic, white, West Indian. These are all terms that allude to negative law. You wanna? Come on, West Indian. Come on, my bro. That's a direction and
in an area.
Like, do y'all hear yourselves, bro? Do y'all hear yourselves, bro? Do y'all hear yourselves? Like, do y'all hear yourselves?
Bro, that's a direction.
Nah, bro.
Like, y'all calling yourselves a direction? Like Middle East?
Nah, but we laughed though. But
Middle
what was we doing with Tupac and Biggie? East side, West side. You know, hey, bro. Like
psychoanalysis, art of war. Psychoanalysis.
You go to New York. What's their nationality? I'm from Brooklyn.
I'm a New Yorker.
I'm from Queens.
Hey, Pete. Canada got Canadian. Mexico got Mexican. Jamaica got Jamaican. United States got what? United Statesian?
Yeah, it's not a thing. You call out your state.
United Statesian?
You call out the state that has been united. You call out the area and the state that you've been united with. You know
when
what I'm
you
saying?
break it down in a codified, that's when you find out that each state is really a country.
Facts.
And really, we should have passports to all different countries. But that's why the union was gathered among the states.
Right. He going in depth because
it's the history of the
this is
US.
And this is the history that's in our books. In
Yeah.
world history, not world history, US history, you learn about 13 colonies. They all had different money.
Facts.
They all had
Matter of
different
fact,
money.
And what we was
I'm
talking
glad.
about,
I'm good, Pete.
glad
so
you said that.
we're in Shiekpi Lenape Hoking. Shiekpi is the indigenous Aboriginal title for what they call New Jersey. It's really called Shiekpi. Shiekpi. It's Lene Lenape. And Lenape Hoking, that's the conglomerate kingdom of which the Lene Lenape and the direct stayed from, which is parts of Delaware, parts of Pennsylvania,
First state,
New
Delaware.
Jersey, New York. That's why tax free. This is all going. You gotta understand and overstand. You feel me? The history behind the Nancy Coke Moors, the Lenape Moors, William Penn. You feel me? That the state of Delaware, etc.
The first state.
You feel me?
That's why people go out there.
The Del Melva Moors, you feel me? Tangier Island, etc. This is all history. You gotta remember, the 13 colonies was originally on the East Coast. So the U.S. was originally only supposed to be set up on the East Coast.
It's a fact.
So
We bought technically.
Did we learn this in school?
Yeah.
I was about to say
Absolutely.
because
we learned it as the California Purchase and the
Gold Rush. You
and
learned
the
about
Gold Rush.
That's what I'm saying. We
learned
learned like
Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail. That's
yep,
like
yep.
stuff like that. We learned.
Sacagawea.
We learned the super surface.
We ain't learn
level.
about Khalifa though, huh?
We learned
huh?
the super.
Facts.
We ain't learn about Khalifa though, huh?
Look.
Khalifa, huh?
Look.
You go to your local natural grocery food, and you could buy a brand of milk called Khalifa.
Yeah.
When you look up who Khalifa is, the sister, indigenous.
And that's why
Look
I
at
said.
your Starbucks logo. But
Ooh.
we ain't gonna.
Yeah, that's why I say logos.
It's another symbolism.
Remember,
But this
logos.
is just a conglomerate of your sister though. This is from your Aphrodite, your Urzuli. Shout out your Urzulis out there. But go ahead, that's Mike.
But not real quick. I just wanted to say, the secret relationship between blacks and Jews.
And the only reason it's secret, guys, is because they don't want you to know. Not because like it's hidden.
And there was more.
Like it's not because
Hitler
we're
army.
hiding it from you.
That's a
you know what I
fact.
mean? It's because the people that are in power, for lack of a better terminology,
Quote.
they don't want you to know. Your people want you to know, but they don't want you to know. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, no. That was the point of me saying it. But even to kind of build off that real quick before we go on to the next one, isn't that what our Moorish people fought for? Like all this stuff that we say we want reparations and we want equality.
Reparation.
We
There's
want
no
all this.
such thing as reparations.
Ooh, okay, all right.
So
correct me, brother.
that's something that
Let me know.
That's something that I just found out.
I agree.
There's
before,
no.
shit.
We're getting science.
Okay.
You don't.
Got you.
We gotta
On
get back
science.
to it. We gotta
Break it down to where it came from, how
Literally,
it started.
I tried looking up. I don't think matter of fact, let me look up reparations in here. But when I looked up various law books, the word reparations with an S, I couldn't find it.
It may be a
was
manufactured
only,
word.
No. What I'm trying to say is it was only reparation.
Got you.
So apparently the word reparation is plural in